I'm starting off this video by saying it's about blush, but actually that's way too simple. This video is actually about, like, look at this here. This would be one, oh, and I'm missing, this would be one cheek look. That's more than blush. Actually, I'm missing a setting powder. So add another product there. So as you can see, blush is for the cheeks. So I'm saying this is a blush video, but I actually want to explore a trend right now that is kind of an integrated complexion system beyond just foundation and concealer into, yeah, I mean, blush is for the cheeks, but this is an integrated system that we are seeing across so many brands. Now, this isn't to be confused with something like we saw Hermes do, or Chanel, or even, frankly, Too Faced, where we have colors that you can blend into a blush and a bronzer, or, you know, strategically put your brush in there. We have seen a lot of those lately. Those are multi-purpose products that you can use for everything. And I did refer to Bare Necessities, which did a Blonzer. Those are multi-purpose products where one product serves many purposes. This is a little bit different. I want to talk about these entire systems for the cheeks. You know, we used to have very complicated eye looks in beauty, you know, cut creases and all sorts of fun things with multiple different types. You know, you'd have a gradient on the eye that would go from the lightest to the darkest, and then the shimmer, and then the cut crease, and then that's kind of gone out. Eyes are tamed now. And we're looking at these products where you're using this many, and as I said, plus one, just for the cheek. So this is the new trend. And the first thing I want to say is nobody really invented it. In the 70s, makeup artists like Whey Brady helped popularize blush draping, but many of you said your grandmothers did that since the 1920s. Of course, Kevin Aucoin famously did. I mean, he even has these kind of ombre blushes that suggest and lean towards his technique, which is indeed to drape the blush. And draping of the blushes, nobody really invented this. We see beautiful blush draping in Asian and Korean beauty specifically. And of course, Painted by Esther is famous for it. And that created some controversy when Patrick Ta actually trademarked his version of it. But nobody's really invented blush draping, blush trapping. To trap blush is to blend it, make sure it doesn't. Sometimes we see people running their blush all the way up here. To trap it is to make sure it doesn't get up here. And I want to talk about some of the systems that we have seen introduced, a lot of them being complicated and a lot of them being kind of fussy. Patrick Ta's that I just held up is the most fussy. The first thing I want to talk about, and this was controversial, we saw Victoria Beckham had her blush Stylus. And a lot of people were angry about this. I understand that, but we're not talking about the controversy. We're just talking about the concept right now, guys. But this is a targeted blush application. I'm not applying all of these, but I did have a video on this where you would apply this and then ideally combine it with another blush of your choice, or if Victoria Beckham Beauty had their way, their liquid blush for the apples of the cheeks, and then this above, and then blend them together. That's a very simple version of it, which again, I'm not talking about multi-use products like we've seen. I'm talking about products that are meant to be used with others. The other one that we saw, so Victoria Beckham Beauty, I did a video on it. This is one that I'm talking about. Meant to be used. It's not just one and done blush, right? We'll get to Patrick Ta. Let's use one cheek to demonstrate the process that we've seen Fara Homidi, okay? We saw her Blonzer. Here's the slightly deeper shade of the Blonzer. This is Bay. I bought new and you guys didn't love it on me because you couldn't see it well enough. So this is the second shade and it's a little bit deeper. She likes to refer, Fara Homidi likes to refer to like a crisp look, almost a sunburnt look, and that's to make sure that the sun, and what she does is she integrates this with her very famous bronzer, which I have the shade right here in Lumen, okay? She sometimes includes a blush, but not always. This could be the blush and the transition, but she does bronzer first, then this, and she'll often add a blush as well. And that would be 3 steps. You don't have to, but she does. So let me take a look here. I'm going to use this new brush from the Sonia G face set that we've talked about. And on this side of the face, let's experiment with this. I'm going to go ahead and saturate this brush with her bronzer. And I am going to show you that I'm going to put this bronzer in this shade around my face. I'm just going to do it on this side of my face here. Such a pretty bronzer. Okay, now that that's there, what Fara Homidi would do is take this here, saturate it. Now this is a deeper shade. And then I'm going to come in here and go under and blend out. Yes, that deeply underneath the eye. So this looks like where the sun would hit me. I've got my bronzer on. And if I wanted to now, I could bring this down as the blush, or I could add a blush, a third product in. This is going to give me that slightly crispy, sunburnt, some are calling it, look. And this is going to be much more pronounced than the new shade that I originally tried on, and I went easy with this, okay? Now I did not, in this look, trap the blush. I brought it up here, but if we want to go back in, we can come in here and then get some bronzer there so that we've trapped it and the blush doesn't go up here. But if we really want to talk about trapping face look in a system, let's talk about Patrick Ta. Now I only have one side of the face done. This is a very simplified version of the Fara Homidi look, but let's talk about Patrick Ta. And I held up all those products. If you are anything like me, and I'm sure you are, or you wouldn't be watching this channel, you might have been a bit lost watching Patrick Ta demonstrate all of these products. Here's what he uses, okay? Highlighter, his famous blush duo in any shade you want. The transition powder blushes, there are 2 of them. The transition liquid blush, and his bronzer plus a setting powder. That is a big system. Not only is this hard to follow when you watch it, but Patrick Ta is such an expert who has done this for so long that it gets a little confusing. He doesn't even mean for it to be. Patrick Ta is an artist. We know that, a makeup artist. With the canvases, he works on our faces, right? So he is looking at the face like an artist looks at a canvas, and he's touching up and he's moving and he's doing that. So when you watch him do his work, it's very hard if you're like me, where you just want a transition naturally, step 1, step 2, step 3. That's not how he works, because the face is a canvas. So we're going to talk about what he does in general, but when he's on set with a model, or when he's working on a famous client, he's going to improvise a little bit, because that's his canvas, and he's using all of those products, okay? Let me just show you his first step. So his first step is he would take this, I didn't even hold that up, that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products for this look, and we're not even talking about the eyes. So the first thing he would do is do a wet concealer. Then before he blends the concealer, there's some steps he does in order. He would take the transition liquid and go right on top of the concealer, just right on top before he even blends. Then he's going to blend. I'm going to use this Chantecaille brush. Then he's going to blend it under. Then he's going to go in, okay, with an actual blush, not the cream. This is what generally he does. I'm not kidding. The powder. This is the shade She's Seductive. So then comes the actual blush. Then he's going to probably use a setting powder to blend those 2 together. I'm not kidding. Then it gets better. He's going to go into the transition shade and go with a darker transition shade. It's true, to transition all this. Are you lost yet? You should be, because then he's going to go in with his bronzer to trap the blush, because he doesn't want the blush creeping up here. So he's going to get some bronzer in there. Meanwhile, he's going to come back to his blush, pop a little bit of the cream blush onto the top. And then, of course, don't forget guys, we still have highlighters and right there on the top. Now, did I lose you? Probably. Here's the idea. The Patrick Ta method is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step to memorize. Victoria Beckham's version of this complicated cheek system is pretty quick and pretty easy, and you could probably use her blush stylus alone. I often do. Fara Homidi is, as we build things up a little bit, you can bronze. She generally bronzes first, then this bronzer, which can be used as a blush as well, or you can add a blush after if you want. And then, of course, then we have where it all goes crazy, Patrick Ta. There's my version of it. His version of it would be much prettier, I assure you. What he's doing, though, it's nothing for you to memorize. That's why if you're watching Patrick Ta, you might get lost a little bit. He is erasing edges, and he is using every tool that he has to make this flawless, perfected complexion. This is not because he is copying anybody, because all of these blush draping and blush trapping techniques have been around. It is because he is looking at the face as a canvas, and he is fixing as he goes, and he doesn't want any edges, okay? So he's got concealer blended into transition, blended into blush, blended into another transition, topped with a cream blush, highlighter, and then trapping the blush, because Patrick Ta hates when the blush goes up there. How do you trap it? That's the bronzer. So what do you take away from the Patrick Ta method other than confusion? Because I guarantee you're watching this and you're like, Rebecca, I'm lost. Well, if you watch Patrick Ta do it, you might be lost too, depending on who he's working on. These are two very different looks that I did very quickly. With Patrick Ta, you just have to remember that you take out your whole arsenal of products and you erase edges and lines so that everything logically blends one into the other. You don't have to be perfect. There are no rules. The general rule with Patrick Ta is blend all the wet ingredients together, then start adding in the powders. So wet, blend, powders, blend, cream, blend. At the very end, he puts a little bronzer, and you could do that with the Fara Homidi too, to trap it. If you don't want your blush going up there, it kind of calms it down a little bit. Now you guys, again, you could also end up going with one of these systems, which just one does everything, and there's nothing wrong with that either. What I am saying is, this is the makeup industry. Ever since our complicated eyes we've moved away from it, we're getting a little bit more complicated on the face, and guys, it's a lot of fun. But it reminds me of my parents with the computers. My parents are in their late 80s, early 90s. In order to do email, my mother has me write down step by step by step what she's to do. The minute they, I'm like upper right hand corner, click compose. Bottom left, click send. The minute they change the way the page looks, she's lost. If you are memorizing step by step, especially with the Patrick Ta, you're going to get lost because it's not really a step by step. Liquid products, blend. Powder products, blend. Cream pot products, blend. Blend the cheeks, trap the blush with a bronzer. Don't worry, you don't have to be perfect getting it in the right order. Even if you do it out of that order, it doesn't matter. You just need to feel pretty. And I want you guys to be comfortable getting in on this trend, which is not even a money-hungry thing. This has been done for ages. This is just blending. Can you take one color blush and switch to a fluffy blush to have it up here and a denser brush to have it there? Yes. Yes, of course you can. There's a million different ways to get in on this. You don't have to break the bank to do it, but I just wanted to try to unconfuse you about the trend, and you can see how pretty this is on both of my cheeks. And you can even, you could go crazy with this. I know that in a lot of these, look at this. They'll even go over the nose and really make it look like I've had sun. You can play from there as you get into it. You can use one product to do it, or how many was that with Patrick Ta? 7? Let me know how you're feeling about this. Does this instill you with confidence or terrify you? What questions do you have? Ask me down below, and let's discuss this as a greater trend. Guys, I am not a makeup artist, as you can tell. I am a journalist, a reviewer, an editor, and I just know a lot about the makeup world, but even I'm having fun with it. You don't have to be perfect. Are you getting a blush look that you feel confident going outside and wearing? That's the question. So let me know. Check me out over on TikTok and Threads, and of course Instagram as well, and Facebook. We have a membership right here on YouTube that we meet every Friday. I would love to have you there and chatting with me. I lead those groups, or you can watch it on replay. I am very involved with in the comments with my community. So ask anything you want down below and I'll help you decode this. I don't want you to be scared of it. It's just about playing, improvising, and seeing, but get in on the trend. Well, it's been around forever, but it's a particularly hot trend right now. Don't worry about who's copying whom. Everybody has their version of it, and it's been around, it's age old. Let me know your thoughts. Let's chat in the comment section, and I will see all of you in the next video. Products down below and where I can up here in YouTube shopping. Bye, guys.